will mark 1 year since Helene hit our state.
On this date, 100 years ago, a similar storm devastated the North Carolina mountains. Tonight, we find Scott Mason in Marshall with a musician recalling that July flood.
The Madison County town of Marshall and the scenic French Broad River and the ballad of when one betrayed the other.
It was Sunday morning, middle of July. The year it was
1916, a low-lying valley.
And below us that old river was roaring and raging.
Joe grew up here, grew up hearing about that almighty flood. July 16, 1916.
And it dropped 22 inches of rain in 24 hours.
More rain than had ever fallen before anywhere in the United States in a 24-hour span.
There was, in some places, 13.5 feet of water down the main street of town. And many of the buildings in those days were built of wood, and a lot of them just collapsed and went down the river.
The flood took 53 houses.
Most of the stores, the cafe where we used to eat.
It took the hotel and swallowed the train track too. It took land beneath the track. Mudslides left these rails in midair, leaving daredevils to pose for a picture.
Hey, look over there, that rooster. He's a-riding his hen house down.
A rooster floated down the river. Joe heard the story from his great-uncle and wrote it into the song.
He knew that that rooster couldn't get close enough to the shore to get safe. And he also knew that a mile and a half down the way here, it would go over Redmond Dam, and that would be the end of it. He told me that story again when he was in hospice dying. It stuck with him as an 8-year-old boy. That was the most tragic thing they'd ever seen.
My mama and sisters, they cried. Our home washed away, nothing was saved. 29 people had died.
It's the details that make it all so real.
And I think it's important that people remember the things that happened in our history. The shame of it is that most of us don't ask.
What happened to Marshall in the flood of 1916?
Terrible, terrible place. It's full of stinking mud and trees, and it was like a bomb had been dropped on it.
Roar, old river, roar.
The stories I learned as a boy helped me to develop into the man that I am now.
And into the musician, songwriter, storyteller he is now too.
You know, I can still hear that rooster crowing so proud as he floated right through our town. Like a train on the track that ain't coming back. And God, that's a lonesome sound.
Wow, what a beautiful song, too. I mean, the songwriting.
Beautiful, eerie, sad.
Yeah. Joe Penland never thought he'd experience the kind of flooding his ancestors did all those years ago.
But last fall, Joe witnessed the havoc of Helene as it unfolded, and he was one of the few who did not evacuate in Marshall. Says he feels grateful to have survived.
I hope he writes another song for Helene so that generations down the road can know that story as well.